So, good evening, Nigerians, and good evening, people all over the world. I don't know the time where it is, but I'm sure those in Nigeria, it should be 5 p.m. on the dot. And this is We the People Show. We the People Show is a program we have designed to bring about discussion in the public concerning governance, concerning our society, concerning the welfare of the people, especially those in Nigeria, and how it affects the world. This program is streaming on YouTube and is streaming on Facebook Live. So, whichever you choose to watch from, you are very free. I am Obidima Ako. I'm going to anchor the program. And today I have a guest with me, the president of Igbo National Congress, Comrade Chilos Godsent. I understand he's battling with network because of the network situation in Nigeria. He's battling with network. I hope he pulls through so that we can get the program rolling. We'll have a comment section where you can drop your comments if you are connected to the program. If you are on Facebook, you can drop your comments. If you are on YouTube, you can drop your comments and tell us what the reception is like where you are, what the streaming is like where you are. I'm still battling to connect with my guest, and he's having some network issues. I think he's here now. Hello, Comrade Chilos. Can you hear me? Comrade Chilos, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello, good evening.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you may have to adjust your camera. Just watch yourself on the camera. It's going to give you an idea of how you appear because we can, yeah, adjust your camera so that we can see you well. Okay, I don't know if you're going to be holding it like this, but if you have something to support it, that would be very nice so that you can fully concentrate in on your talk.
Okay.
Are you okay with it?
Is that okay? Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay, so I would like you to tell us a little about yourself. I've already introduced you as the president of Igbo National Congress, but I would also like you to introduce yourself a little bit so that those who are watching can also understand you more.
Okay, my name is Chilos Godsent. I'm the president, Igbo National Council, INC.
Okay. Okay, so before we go to the meat of the matter, can you tell us a little about Igbo National Congress? What you stand for, what you've been doing, and what you're known for?
Council. That's Igbo National Council.
Igbo National Council, yes.
Okay, the Igbo National yeah, the Igbo National Council is a socio-political movement that are committed to the liberation struggle of the Igbo race and the Igbo nation. It is an organization that is a mass-based membership organization that is committed on the realization of the struggle for self-determination, self-preservation, and self-sustenance of the Igbo race all over the world.
Interesting. That sounds, heartwarming. So recently we saw a release from your organization declaring the governor of Lagos State, Babajide SANWO, as a personal encounter in the southeast, which of course everybody knows the southeast is predominantly dominated by Igbos. So we saw your, uh, your release to that effect. So Can you buttress more on the reasons why you had to do that?
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. We have observed patiently the reckless and arbitrary wanton destruction of the properties and livelihood of the Igbo race or the Nigerians of the Igbo nation extraction that are resident in Lagos State by the Lagos State government, Baba Jide SANWO, and we think it is not healthy for the economy of the Nigerian state. It is not healthy for the promotion of the unity of all the ethnic groups that are inhabiting the Nigerian state. So we felt that it was a lopsided and that this immediately started when they realized that the Nigerians of Igbo extraction living in Lagos did not vote in mass during the presidential election of the 2003 Nigerian presidential election, and they feared that because the population was rising and it was against the interest of the ruling government of Lagos, being the All Progressive Congress, APC. So the only thing to do is to orchestrate a policy that is dehumanizing, that is lopsided, to attack the livelihood and the property of those perceived to be of the Igbo nation or the Igbo inclination that are resident in Lagos in a bid to frustrate them and then quietly and diplomatically make them leave Lagos or impoverish them economically or compel them towards political loyalty of the government of the local state to believe in whichever political party they believe. And we feel that this is not good for the health of the Nigerian. This is not healthy for the development of the Nigerian economy and for the development of the unity and political unity of the country. So we felt that Samuel has been variously called to halt that arbitrary policy to witch hunt the Igbos living in Lagos, and he refused. So we felt as an organization that is geared or committed in the protection of the interests of the Igbo anywhere in the world. We now issued a personal non-granta. We declared him a personal non-granta that we do not want to see him in any territory of the Igbo nation within the Nigerian Federation because he is a threat to the security of the Igbo race. He is a threat to economic development of the, he is a threat to political development of the members of the Igbo race in Nigeria and in Africa. So that was exactly what motivated the Igbo National Council to declare him personal non-granta. Thank you.
Okay, going further, before this decision of your organization to declare the governor persona non grata, were there any overtures, across to him? Did you try to engage him? Did you write him or try to draw his attention to, some of these issues that you raised now? And secondly, there are, some opinion who suggest that what happened in Lagos was not actually targeted at the Igbos, that it's general environmental cleaning of Lagos, considering the vulnerability of Lagos State to flooding and the blockage of the canals, the water routes, and then that what they are doing is just to, clean and the environment, for to prevent, flooding that wreaks havoc in Lagos State. But outside that, did you make any? I mean, did you try to engage the Lagos State government? And if you did, what was the response?
Yeah, we try to reach out to them. We try to, the overture to see how we can discuss with him to understand why the obnoxious policy now. And they did not give us the audience. And we also have to come on top of social jurisprudence using the media to attract his attention and make him either to come on defense or to explain to the general public why he has to. And I want to believe that the issue of taking an excuse that on the it is based on a policy to clear ways the drainage block. What about the estates? There are some estates in Festa, there are some estates within Lekki, there are some estates within the hybrid areas in Lagos where there are no drainage in those areas, and yet the buildings were demolished, even when there was a court action to stop him and then to respect the court process to say if the court allows him to do that, then he can do. But he violated these things and then demonstrated high level of impunity because he has the instrumentality of the power of the state. And that is why we think it is not necessary. It does not promote the sustainability of the economy of a particular section of the country that reside in Lagos. And that is why we took it to this extent to be able to see if that can be heard and then take all normal processes in line with the law of the Federation to address that issues. If he thinks that those buildings, those shops that we are being demolished did not adhere to the policy of the Development Authority of the Lagos State Government.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I think I'm getting some holdback from your end. I don't know if there's another device there that is you know on. Maybe you can lower the volume. There's an echo, a holdback that's coming from your end. If there's another device that is on there that has a speaker, please reduce the speaker. It's affecting our discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's okay
Thank
now.
you very much.
Yeah. All
I
right.
hope it's
So
okay now.
let's push on now. Did you look at the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and know the I mean did you consider the legality of declaring somebody persona non grata? I mean, does our Constitution allow for such? And what will be the implications of somebody being declared a persona non grata in an area? Now that you have declared him a persona non grata, what is going to be the implication at the end of the day? Do you have any means of enforcing whatever wish to in that declaration?
I want to believe that as a citizen of a country, as an organization resident in a country, we have a right to self-determination. And then we have to go to the extent and say, what is persona non grata? Literally meaning and then political meaning and its political implication. The issue of persona non grata is to state that we do no longer accept him, that he is no longer a friend to the Igbo nation. So this, and we will not tolerate it, that he is not properly welcome. So there is no way we are not going to militarize it. We are not going to take any other action aside from probably all constitutional means to address these issues and to call him to order because he has also violated the constitution of this country by neglecting court processes. So when we say we no longer accept you, you're no longer a friend of the people. So we no longer accept you within the territories of the Igbo nation because you have declared a political fatwa on the Igbos that are living in the state that you are governing. That is the extent of it.
Okay. Some will also
He has declared a fatwa, and
some will also
you need to reciprocate.
yeah, some will also make cases like other places where buildings are also being demolished. Just a few days ago, we saw viral videos on the social media about some buildings being demolished in Delta states, and some of the owners of those buildings also are Igbos. Lands. Many of them are also Igbos. Their buildings were being demolished, and a few months ago, we also saw in the Enugu state, where the Enugu state government, demolished so many houses in Enugu, and people are complaining. So, one would say, how do you address these other issues? These are Igbos against Igbos, So they will say, are you not being too extremist when it comes to the issue of SANWO? Maybe because it's not Igbo, and then you're tagging it anti-Igbo. And what about those ones in IGBOLAND who are demolishing buildings of Igbos in IGBOLAND?
Okay, thank you very much. A lot of people from Lagos has caused, a lot of Yoruba group has also raised these concerns, and we say, good. If you remember, it took us over 90 days to respond to these issues in public. And we are also investigating the legality and the social and economic implication of the demolition that also took place in Enugu by the Enugu state government, and we are going to respond adequately at the appropriate time, just very soon. And we have also taken into cognizance the arbitrary and wanton destruction of properties by the Delta state government in Asaba, and we are also investigating. We have set up our committees. We have also contacted the INC chapters in that state to submit a report regarding that. And once we study the report and finds out that it was done contrary to the provision of the law, we are going to take also appropriate position. We are going to take appropriate action. We are also going to make our position known to the Nigerian people. Thank you.
Okay. Permit me to veer off a bit from this topic to one or two other issues concerning the Igbos, since your organization is an Igbo-centric one. Recently, there was this rumor that spread that Ohaneze Ndigbo was planning to go and apologize to the Arewa group for the 1966 coup. Even though Hanese has come out to deny it, but the rumors were so strong, and reactions were very, very strong from all quarters in IGBOLAND. What do you make of this development? Do you think there are 50 columnists who are trying to sow the seed of discord amongst the Igbos, or do you suspect foul play from Hanese?
Okay, thank you very much. The Igbo National Council is not the outlet, it's not the spokes organization of the Ohanese Igbo. And then I am also not the spokesman of the Ohanese Igbo, but as a consigned organization and also a citizen of the Igbo race. What I thought that, there was a tape, there was an audio tape that was in circulation in the various social media, and we expect the President General of Ohanese Igbo, Chief Dr. Emmanuel Iwanyam, to come out openly to address the world to say if that was genuine or not. But he has actually addressed
the issue both in later in paper and orally. He has addressed it, and he has denied it. He has even alleged threats to his life. But what I'm asking you is for such thoughts to come up, do you think the Igbos need to apologize? Let me just go straight. Do you think Igbos need to apologize for the 1966 coup?
No. Apologize to who? No, but apologize to who? If there is anybody that need to apologize, the Nigerian state should apologize to Igbo for the genocide that was carried out against the Igbo race in 1990, in 1969. These are what we are saying. So if you say apologize, who is going to apologize to you? Somebody do not slap you, take your property, kill your children, and you go again to apologize to the person. That is utter nonsense. That is not acceptable. So that is not even part of the discussion. What we are now saying is, if it was true that probably the Ohanese has come, we have seen a lot of version on that the issue of begging did not even started from the tenure of the regime of Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Iwanyam, that it has been a reoccurrence, trend. But it is not necessary, and I don't think the Igbo, as a fellow citizen of this country, should be able to, stoop low to that extent to apologize. The first question: who are we apologizing, and why are we apologizing? If there is anybody to apologize, other Nigerians masterminded that genocide should have to apologize to Ndibo for masterminding the genocide, for the conspiracy against the Igbo nation, for the conspiracy against the Igbo race. And that was a huge genocide. I think a whole lot of things are also going to be done on that respect.
Okay. Comrade Chilos Godsent is the president of Igbo National Congress, and he's my guest on today's program, We the People, and we are looking at the continued hatred and marginalization of the Igbos in Nigeria. And we are using the present demolition of properties of Igbos across the nation as a point of reference. What about Abuja? Let me ask you, what about Abuja? We saw what happened in Abuja. The FCT minister has been demolishing properties, and some of them are believed to be owned by Igbos. In fact, majority of those projects are believed to be owned by Igbos. And there was this alleged, statement he made. How can an Igbo own such big property in an Abuja? I mean, in Abuja, an Igbo. There's a socio-cultural group in Igbo. In Abuja, an Igbo socio-cultural group that had called on the FCT minister to apologize, and he has dismissed, uh, you know, such calls with a wave of hand. And an association like yours that is Igbo centric. What do you make of this? Have you reached out to the FCT minister? Have you reacted to these developments? There seems to be a growing um, hatred for Igbo. Some people are saying Igbos are like the endangered species in Nigeria presently. It has always been that, but it appears there is an increase in the tempo. And what are you actually doing?
Thank you very much. If you understand the dynamics of the political participation in Nigeria, or dynamics of the political policies in Nigeria, there has been an orchestrated policy of conspiracy against the Igbos in Nigeria. And then I think what they are just trying to do is a manifestation of those policies. The destruction of the properties, the estates in Abuja, 90% or more than 90% are the Igbo properties. And why must it be? But we understand that presently, if any regime is like Antibo in the history of Nigeria, it came into more prominence in the modern Nigeria during the regime of the past President Muhammad Buhari, and then being advanced by the present regime of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And we think it is uncalled for because one, instead of promoting unity, it is going to promote disunity in this country. A whole lot of people in this country from other sections of this country have risen up to condemn it. And we have also set up a committee. We have contacted the INC chapter in Abuja to also do a comprehensive investigation and then submit a report with regard to the recent demolition of the properties of the Nigerians of Igbo extraction in Abuja. And very soon, once we did the report, we're also going to make our position known. If you also know why we were able to declare personal non grata on the governor of Lagos State, it has taken time for us to study those things. And we saw that it is a matter of conspiracy, not just because those properties needed to be demolished. Because when you go to Munshi, when you go to Oshodi, when you go to many parts of Lagos, you'll understand that there are worse squallows in Lagos State that needed to be destroyed. But because many of those areas are not dominated by the Igbos, they are being left behind. But what about the ones in Festac, estates, and all the rest of things? Market areas. So we know and we believe that these are of the orchestrated conspiracy against the livelihood and the political survival of the Igbo race in Nigeria. And we need to rise up to resist it. And that is exactly what we are doing. And sure, we will have to do more.
Okay, so let's come down to the states now. The things that are happening in the states now. Your organization, do you actually do a comparative assessment and study of the various governments in the southeast, at least the five of them? And if you do, what is your take on how they are performing? And what areas you think they are doing well, and what areas you think they are lagging behind?
Okay, thank you very much. We have a political development directorate. We have also economic development directorate. Then we have several directorates in INC. But when you look at it right now, the only state that seems to be trying to do something meaningful is the Abia State, led by Governor Oti, Alex Oti. And then when you look at these other four states, you would not want to know where to assess them because a state like Imo State has no policy aside from only fighting the insecurity. Yes, they have tried in the fight against insecurity. The governor of Imo State has tried to a greater aspect of that. But when you look at it holistically, he does not have any policy or any program on agriculture. He does not have any program on health. He does not have any program on education. He does not have any program on infrastructural development. He does not have any program on issue of on issue of housing. And likewise, these other states in in the southeast, just like Anambra State. You see that Anambra State is also meteor-oriented. You wouldn't understand what Governor Soludo wants to succeed. He needs to come out to say, exactly, these are what our programs are. These are areas we are likely to address within the 4 years we are going to be in government. The same in Anebonyi and the same in Anenugu. Rather, what you see in most cases is a witch hunt against political opponent or passive political opponent. This cannot be said to be a progressive government, and then the INC is not likely going to support it. So we are not going to rate them beyond 10%, above 10% of performance, because we want to see their program on some of the issues, their program on issue of youth employment, program on issue of women rights development, their program on health, their program on education, their program on housing, their program on economy. The economy in Southeast is in a state of comatose. That has also encouraged human capital development, human capital flight against the zone, where majority of the young generation, the youth from the South region, are leaving the zone en masse in search of greener pasture in other states in the country and then in other countries of the world. And this has also resulted to arbitrary and avoidable death of many of these youths. These are not exactly what they were intending to come and do. So we need to encourage them. We need to ask them to really come out openly to embark on a radical economic policy to improve the livelihood of all these states in the East. Thank you.
So if you are asked to rate the states, to grade them, the five of them, how would you grade? On a scale of five,
Okay,
the five
likely we are
states.
going to grade Imo on a scale of 5. There's going to be certain disparities because of what we have been seeing in Abia State in the recent time on issue of power and infrastructural development, and even including security. So we'll grade these other 4 states, Imo, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Anambra State 10%, and we are going to grade Abia State 25% in performance index. And that is exactly what our record have. So 10% for these other 4, and then 25% for Abia State.
No, I'm saying on a scale of 10, how do you grade them? On a scale of 10, how do you grade them?
Okay, on a scale of 10, then we need to also understand what are the parameters, what are the indices, what are the analyzing factors, because like in most cases, we like grading them on percentage. On a scale of 10, maybe we are going to say 2 for these other states and probably 4 for Abia State, because Abia is trying on issue of power generation and supply, also on issue of infrastructural development. That has never been what, even on the issue of environment. Abia State is trying, so we can give them 4, but this other states is between 2 and 2.5. And we encourage them to do something, because when you also look at it, the issue of local government council election is also not in existence in these 5 states of Southeast. And that has gone a long way to also encourage, ineptitude in leadership capacities of the younger generation, the youth, and then has also contributed to the promotion of increment in crime in the states, in the 5 regions, because many of these youths are not working, many of these youths have no livelihood that they can rely on. And in most cases, they say the idle mind is a devil's workshop. So we also enjoin them to immediately conduct a local government council election in this state, so majority of the youth can be employed and also can participate politically. In other words, that can also increase their leadership competence and their experience in managing conflicts.
Okay. Okay. On this note, we are going to draw the curtain. I believe we've done justice to the issue in discussion. We've looked at the continued uh, hatred and marginalization of Ndibo in Nigeria. And I've had with me my guest, Comrade Godsent Chilos, who is the president of Igbo National Congress. He's been my guest, and I'm sure he has done justice to this issue. So, on a parting note, Comrade Chilos, what message do you have for the Igbos? Because the Igbos are watching you from all over the world, both those in diaspora and those at home. What do you think should be the way forward, the direction for now?
Okay, The way forward, we have consistently insisted that first, the Igbo must stop the blame game. The Igbos must rise up and take their destiny into their hand. There is no need crying and also accusing other groups of being responsible for their woe. The Igbo must have to engage on the right to self-determination, enforce it, and be able to vote in those who govern their territory. And then the Igbo must rise up to say, look, we have a right to exist and we have a right to develop our own places. What are the challenges that are Igbo are always developing other regions, leaving their own primary region, their own primary home undeveloped. And that is not healthy for the Igbo. So one thing we are saying is that first, there is nobody responsible for the woes of the Igbo nation aside from the Igbo. And nobody can effectively solve our problem aside from the Igbo. So we must stop the blame game and confront the realities. Because this is a capitalist world. In a capitalist world, you don't sit down and believe that God is going to come down to give you your livelihood. You go out there and fight it and then take your destiny into your own hand. So the Igbo must rise all over the world, in Nigeria being the home front, to take their destiny into their hand. And I'm very sure the Igbo nation is going to be the most developed territory in Africa within the next few years
Okay.
if this is being done.
On that note, we are going to draw the curtain for today. I'm sure we have enjoyed the program. You have raised lots of issues that deserves brainstorming. And I want to thank you, Comrade Chilos Gossens, President Igbo National Congress, for being my guest on With the People today. Thank you so much for coming to my program. And I hope that
Thank
next
you very
time,
much.
I hope
It
that
is
next
Igbo
time,
National Council, not Congress.
or Igbo National Council. So I hope that next time when we invite you, you also avail us your time.
Sure, very well. Next time, yeah.
All right. So thank you so much, dear viewers. This is where we're going to draw the curtain for today. I'm sure you have enjoyed the program, and that's our discussion on what the Igbos are facing. We the People program is going to be a continuous program. We're going to be broadcasting every Thursday for now until we improve. Remember, this is part of our test broadcast, and we would like to get some feedback from you on how the streaming went. I mean, what the reception was from your end. On this note, I'm going to say goodbye until I see you next Thursday for another discussion when I bring you another important personality to discuss on topical issues. I'm your host, Obidima Ako, and till I come that time, I want to say, enjoy yourselves.